Very good morning. Welcome to JS Testing Academy. Welcome to the next part of video in the Devops series. So, in the last video, we saw about how to run the Selenium code with Ansible. In this video, we are going to integrate Kubernetes and see how it goes. Okay. So, we already saw videos regarding with Git, Jenkins pipeline, and we saw videos with Docker, and we saw with Ansible, and this video is going to add Kubernetes into the playlist. Okay. Normally the testers write the automation code and check in the code with the help of Git into the GitHub, and GitHub URL will be added in Jenkins, and a Jenkins file will be created, and pipeline script will be created. Through pipeline script, we are going to tell which Docker image we need to pull, and which Ansible pod which Ansible we are going to do, and how you are going to run the Selenium test in the Kubernetes in the pod. Okay, so insert we are going to run the Selenium code into the Kubernetes pod, which has the Docker container. Okay, so the pod will be having the Docker container where the Selenium hub and the node image will be pulled and pushed. Okay, so we are going to trigger the Kubernetes part from the Jenkins file with the help of pipeline. So that is what is the process which is going to happen. The Selenium code will be run in Kubernetes right under the pod, which has a different container, where in the container you'll have images like Selenium hub node. The grid concept will be executed, where the code will be triggered and executed, and the reports will be generated. So this is going to be the overall the execution flow in the DevOps world. Okay, this is what we are going to learn here in this particular tutorial. Okay, so the Ansible set up the infrastructure, Docker or Kubernetes cluster. Docker containers runs the Selenium hub and nodes, and Kubernetes ensure scalability, failover, and scheduling. And Jenkins is used to test the code build and deployment with the help of the Ansible. Okay, so that is, and we'll integrate Grafana and Prometheus in the next part of video, and we'll also see how we can integrate with the AWS cloud also in the future videos. Okay, so the work of Ansible is used to install the Docker and Docker Compose file, and deploy the Selenium grid, and upload the test code to the target server, and trigger our Selenium test remotely. That is the work of an Ansible. Okay, Kubernetes is used to it is used for a deployment process. Your Selenium test will be run as a Kubernetes jobs in the pods. Okay, and the Selenium it uses Selenium has as a deployment for the test. Okay, so Kubernetes orchestrates our containers and enabling auto scaling and high availability. Okay, so that is the work of the Kubernetes, and we all know Docker, right? It is used to pull the image, Selenium image, and run together. Okay, so that is the workflow which we are going to learn today. So so uh, i given first, what we need to do is, we need to open the Docker desktop, please follow the previous basic videos. Okay, you need to install the Docker desktop in your machine. Please do that and make sure Docker is installed in a machine. Go through the previous Docker videos for a better understanding. Okay, next we need to register the Docker hub. Okay, we need to create an account in the Docker hub. You can create with your Gmail, right? And we need to create a repository. I have created one repository, JS Testing Academy, and I created one image in that. okay, Selenium Docker test. Okay, and I push that Selenium Docker test into the my Docker hub. Okay, so this will I'll see shortly what is a command to do it. Right, we need to first, you need to just create it. We can, through the command, we can create the repository, and right, push and pull the code image into the repository, that you can do it. Okay, make sure you are creating a Docker hub account in your machine. Okay, now an Ansible should be installed. Go through the previous Ansible videos for installation of the Ansible. Okay, so these are the basic prerequisites for before come right starting the Kubernetes video. Okay, and I've listed some right list of commands, right, where you need to do step by step to run the Kubernetes file. Okay, first, before that, we need to, I created one Maven project. You can follow the previous video. I continue with the same. Okay, so I created a Maven project when SRC test main Java I kept, right. I created Selenium Docker test where I create a public static void main where I'm just going to run as a Selenium right hub, right hub grid concept I'm going to use. I'm giving the Selenium server URL and the hub URL port number, right, and the hub. Okay, I'm using Chrome options to get run in a headless mode, all right, and run in a background. And I'm using WebDriver new driver to run in a remote driver. And in which driver, in the which server URL, this server URL I'm giving. And I'm going to print the title of the google.com page. So very simple class, right? I'm just going to use it. This I'm going to run with the Kubernetes. Okay, so I've added the pom.xml. Okay, this is the previous same thing which we used in the previous video. I didn't do any modification in the same right pom.xml. You can go through the previous right videos. If you want, you can ask me the pom.xml. I can also share to you. Okay, so I've used a Maven build tool here. Okay, so first thing what I did is, right, I went to the project folder and I created one file that is called as a Docker file, which is there already there in my machine. Okay, so in the Docker file we need to add this right lines, right. We are telling I'm going to use Maven and I'm going to use Eclipse, this version, and I'm going to copy my working directory to the container, Docker container, and just copy all the files. I'm just giving dot 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 and run as Maven clean install and skip the test, right. Skip the one code is push, just skip the test or do only the compilation. Okay, do only the compilation, don't run. Okay, next one is and command Maven test. So this is a simple Docker file I created to copy the directories from the local machine to the Docker container. This will take care of it. Okay, next one is, I if I want to run only with a Docker compose file, I created this Docker compose file where we can use Docker compose up, right, hyphen d, right. We can use that command. We can see the Docker videos where this Docker compose file, right, creates, right, pulls the image, right, from the repository into the container. What are the images? Selenium hub, since we are going to use hub and node concept, right, it is going to right, pull the image Selenium hub and the Selenium node, what port number I just instructed, and what is the right node port number also. So what port number we are going to use it, right. I just gave this Docker compose file where we can run only from the Docker compose file, right, also. Okay, go to the previous Docker videos for a better understanding. Next is, right, I'm just creating an Kubernetes YAML file. Okay, where right, it is used to act as a runner class, right. It's going to do the runner. Okay, so I just created what you can run as a job, okay, in the pod. Okay, and I going to run the job name as Selenium test. Okay, and you just right, create the image, right, JS testing academy Selenium Docker test latest, which image, the Docker hub image which I right pulled it and pushed it. Okay, so this image, you right, you download it and do it. Okay, and next one is right, just image pull policy, never telling, right, not to pull from the Docker hub. Okay, so right, take it manually. Okay, and next one is environment remote, just going to run that in the remote. And what URL? Selenium hub URL, server URL, which we gave right in the public static void main in the main class. Okay, so this is an right Kubernetes job file which I created, runner file which I created. Next is the Ansible playbook. Ansible, as I told you, it is used to set up the deployment process automatically. It is going to install dependencies, install Docker, install Kubernetes, ensure the Kubernetes command is executable. Okay, check whether the Kubernetes clusters are ready. Okay, and then if it is failed running, just give a message. What is a failure message? And right, load the Docker image into the minikube. Okay, and next one is deploy and run the Selenium grid and run the test. So all these things automatically will be taken care by the Ansible. Okay, so what is the name of the test? Right, connection local. Okay, first install the dependencies, then install Docker. Kubernetes takes care of everything: installing dependencies, installing Docker, installing Kubernetes, right, CLI, right, command line interpreter. And next one is ensure kubectl is executable. Okay, and checks the Kubernetes clusters with this command. Shortly we are going to see it. Okay, and check whether the Kubernetes is running or not, it will check it. And next one is load the Selenium Docker image into minikube. Okay, and run the Selenium test. So all these basic things you should keep here in the project. Go to file and create it. Okay, so the setup hyphen selenium.yaml, selenium test hyphen, you can give your own name. Okay, it depends, that's not an issue. Okay, so you can give on the project root directory and save all the files including the pom.xml. Make sure the pom.xml is run up and running without any issues. Okay, all these things are right setup we should do before right starting running the Kubernetes, right, with the help in the command line. Okay, now what you need to do is, right, we need to go to the command prompt. Okay, before that we should go to the project root directory. Go to project, go to properties, go to the project root directory, and go to the project folder and give cmd. It will go to the path of the project folder. Okay, first thing we need to go into the Ubuntu machine. For that you give wsl -d. Ubuntu will go directly into the Ubuntu environment for execution of the Ansible. Okay, so I'll give wsl -d Ubuntu. Now we are switching into the Ubuntu environment. First, right, I'm not going to run these two commands. This minikube and Kubernetes CLI, right, command line interpreter, both should be installed and set up. Okay, this we already saw in the Ansible itself, but make sure you are doing that. Minikube is a tool that runs a single node Kubernetes cluster locally on your machine. So the work of the minikube is it setups a Kubernetes cluster into our machine, into the laptop or PC. So it is used to setting up the Kubernetes cluster. So this helps in supporting the. It's like a virtual machine or a container, okay, which is used to run the Docker right containers. Okay, so this sets up the Kubernetes cluster, right? That is the work of the minikube. Okay, what is the purpose of kubectl is it's a command line interface where it is used for interacting with the Kubernetes cluster. It is used to interact, right? It is a tool, right, or a command line interface. It is used to interact with the Kubernetes cluster with the help of, right, some commands. Shortly we are going to see, like for example, viewing the logs of an execution. Okay, how to manage the parts, right, deploying applications in the cluster. So through some command line tools we are going to interact with the Kubernetes cluster with the help of the Kubernetes CLI, right, tool. Okay, so these two both should is very important to be right installed and set up. So make sure giving these two commands. I already have in the machine, so I'm not giving right going to right do it again, right. So you please do it. Okay. So now what I do is, right, I went navigated into the path of the directory within the by adding the wsl-d ubuntu command. So I'm going to the ubuntu environment. First thing what I need to do is, already I given there, we need to build an right docker image here with a name. This is the name of the repository which I gave in the docker hub. You can see, right. So if you run this command, I already have in my machine. Okay, if this run this command, it will create an image and it will build an image, right, in the name of the under the repository selenium docker test. Okay, you just simply copy it and run it. I have already done. That's why I can see in the docker hub. Okay, just run it. Okay, so it will build an image. Okay, so this is the first time I'm doing, but rest no need to do, because we gave maven clean test in docker file, right. Hope you remember this command which we saw in the docker file. Okay, it's going to run right build, right. Next, if after this, if I give this one, right, runs the docker image, docker run -d, the repository name and the image. Okay, so if I run this, it is going to run the docker run. Okay, step by step you need to run. Is executing, please wait. I can see, right, build success, there is no issues, it executed. Okay, now first it's builded an image. Now we need to run the image. Just copy this, please. I'm not doing this, right, as I did in the earlier, because already I have everything in my machine. I executed, I'm not doing that. Run this again, and again tag this right image to the latest one. Okay, if I want to rename or something, just right rename it and tag it. Okay, this you do it. Okay, either I'll run, that's no issues. Okay. Okay, it run and created an image there. Okay, now I'll just we need to log into the docker hub. Okay, so I just give docker login. Okay, I have already my credentials in that. It login successfully. It will ask for a username and password. If you are logging the very first time, you please give it. Okay, next one is you need to push the image into the docker hub. Okay, for that you give this command. Already I have in my machine. I'm just giving it again. Okay, so it's going to push into the repository you already have. It's again pushing here. Okay, so this is how we need to first push the right image into the docker hub repository. Okay, just pushing. Let's wait for a just a couple of minutes. You need to push all the layers here. Okay, it did push. Okay, but most of the layer already does exist because already I pushed the code. Okay, first then we need to start the Docker driver. Either you can give this one, or you can tell what is the CPU size and the memory size. You can add this also. Okay, let me copy and give the CPU as 2 and the memory size this one. Okay, let me copy, or you can give directly that one. I'm just copying it. Okay, and I am pasting it here. So I'm going to start the driver, Docker driver here. Okay, it's telling to delete first. Okay, the existing one. The existing cluster it's asking to delete. That's why you should always run this first command. I skipped it, right? We need to run the first command, delete any existing Kubernetes cluster is there. It will delete it and it will start again. One minute. It's taking some time. Just let's wait. One minute. Okay, it exited again. Let's try again. One minute. Let me give this command. I'll delete the existing clusters which is already there. Yeah, I deleted. Let me start again. Hmm. It's starting, right? With the memory space which is allocated. Okay, and the size of the CPU also. Let's wait. Just need to load the images. It's loading. Just wait. Creating the Docker container now. First, we need to delete the existing one. Then we need to start the Docker driver so that the if there are any issues, right? Already existing one, it will delete and it will start newly. So it's creating a container with the right size which we gave. Okay, it did fail to connect to the registry. Preparing Kubernetes now. So the minikube will does everything, right? It is going to pull the image, create the Docker container, preparing the Kubernetes. It will do everything. Okay, done. kubectl is now configured to use to minikube cluster and default namespace by default. Okay, now let's also update it one bit. We'll update the minikube. Okay, no changes there. It's in the current context. No issues there. Okay, let us get the status, minikube status first. 1 minute, sorry. Okay, all are running now. The status is right. Kubernetes, config, everything is configured and running. Okay, now let get the nodes now. The available nodes. Sorry, it copied the whole one. Wrongly copied. Now see, now the minikube is ready. And what is the version? Right, how many seconds for running? 83 seconds. Everything is fine now. Okay, now let's get the cluster information. So you should run. I can practice all these commands step by step, right? If you have any issues, you can tell me. 1 minute. You didn't copy. We are getting the cluster information now. Okay. So now Kubernetes is running under the this right host and this port number. It's running now. Okay. Now let's get the pods. What are the pods are running? Sorry, it's not copied. I'm not copying it. Yeah. No resource found in the default space. Okay. Now what we'll do is, right, we'll load the image first and we'll run the project. Minikube, the repository and the right image name. First we'll load it. So 2 or 3 times I copied the result. Don't get confused with that. So it's going to load the Minikube image in the repository. 1 minute. Please hold on. It's taking some time. So this and all I copied the result. That's why unwanted right lines. I just copied the result and pasted. Just follow these commands alone. Okay, step by step. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, right, you can send a feedback and comment so that we also improve And if you are stuck somewhere also, you can ping us. 1 minute, it's taking some time. Okay, now it run. Now let's write uh, run the Kubernetes runner now. kubectl apply write force selenium test job yaml. So let me run that now first. Okay. Now a batch job is been created now. Okay, so I executed 1 minute, I executed this one. So we gave a batch job, right? So that has been created now. Selenium test batch job has been created. You can see, right? Selenium test batch job has been created. Now let's run the Ansible playbook and see how it goes. Okay, so for that I need to go Ansible playbook, setup Selenium. I have to run this. Okay, so I've run kubectl, apply a Selenium test job. I've executed. Now, right, it created a job here and it executed. Okay, so now let's run the Ansible playbook now. Let me copy the Ansible playbook. 1 minute. I just copied the result again. Okay, okay. Oh, it came out of this one, right? It came out of the Ubuntu. 1 minute. Let me again go back to Ubuntu. For running in Ubuntu, right, Ansible, we need to navigate. It's now running in the command prompt. Let's go to the Ubuntu. Now let me run the Ansible playbook. So first, it will launch step by step. Okay, first install dependencies, Docker done, right, right, CLI installed, right, kubecl is executable, right, make sure it's executable. I check the status, it changed it, and it's checked it's failing or not. No, it's not failing, it skipped it. So it's going to load the Selenium Docker image into the Minikube. 1 minute. Okay, it changed, all executed. Now everything is fine now. Okay, so now the Ansible playbook executed. So it run executed all the 8 tasks. It executed, changed 3 and skipped 1. I checked its failure, no failure, skipped. Okay, so it run everything. If you want to see, right, what happened, whether the build is success or not, we need to run this command. We need to watch the pod. You're running the right, Selenium code in the pod, right? We need to watch it. For that, let me give this command. Sorry, I didn't copy. Again, same mistake I did. We need to run this command. See, Selenium test is been status been completed. All right, you can see, right. This right, watch, right. If you see, right, the Selenium status, it's been completed. Okay. Now, okay, if I want to check the logs also, okay, if I want to, I'll just give exit. I'll come out of it. 1 minute. One minute, let me come out of it. Right, if I want to check the logs also, right? So if I give kubectl logs job selenium test, it will run the project and check whether the build is succeed or not. So without any errors it's running. Okay, so these are the two three commands we should give. First, how we need to run the playbook first, right? I'll tell you the command. Okay, we need to first apply it. Okay, and then we need to right, first before that we need to upload the image, right? Then we need to apply the kubectl, right, the runner file, we need to run it. Then we need to run the Ansible playbook. And if you want to watch the parts, copy this command and give it. Okay, and if you want to see the logs, right, you give this command. Okay, if you want to see the logs, right, you just give this command. Okay, so this is how we can run the Kubernetes, right, in our machine. So all these things are step by step guide to see how the Kubernetes is running. Okay, first Docker should be ready, Ansible should be installed, Kubernetes should be installed, and you follow this step by step. Make sure you are running in Ubuntu for Ansible execution. Okay, for running in Ansible you need to log into the Ubuntu under your project folder, then you should run. Okay, so hope this video is useful for you. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day. Bye.